All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word and truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh by Yahawashi. Lord willing, this is edifying. I wanted to do a lesson in going into the news, various topics going into the news, things of that nature. I got a couple articles. It's interesting, to see, the times that we're in. Obviously, we track all of this stuff. We read these headlines. We get these notifications for the things that are going on in the news, and it all speaks to Bible prophecy. It all speaks to what we already know is to be true. Okay. We know Esau Edom, who's the so-called white man, is going to look to implement his new world order system. We know he's looking to orchestrate the downfall and destruction and the collapse of this society as we know it, so he can usher in that new world order system. And these are the steps that he's taken to do so. All right, we're watching this man set up the infighting. We're watching him set up the one side versus the other. You know what I mean? So they have some justification to, come down with that great wrath, as the scriptures say. Okay. But again, regardless of what, this thing has to play out. We know it's going to happen. We just, we don't know exactly how it's going to go down. But these are the signs that we look for when it comes to Esau Edom. We look at this presidency, Donald J. Trump. We look at, what he's done already since he's been back in office, only for 8 months, and look at all that's happened in the times that he's been back in office. People are getting shot, killed, hung, stabbed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff going on globally with tariffs. Just everything, man. Just, it's all happening through prophecy, through the power and spirit of Yahawashi. And again, we're here to report on it. All right. So this first article is from CNN.com. It says Trump says he's designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. All right. And we're going to see a lot of this. We're going to see a lot of labeling in the near future, even now and in the near future. Right. They're going to be labeling, this government is going to be labeling all different types of organizations. They're going to be giving them different titles, especially when it comes to that T word. Okay, because he's going to designate so many people, so many organizations, so many classes and groups of people. He's going to categorize them as the enemy of the state in some way, shape, or form, right? Because of the narrative that doesn't line up with this new world order system. It doesn't line up with, the right, okay, and their side and their way of thinking. It doesn't line up with the elites and what they have planned, okay? So we're gonna see a lot of this. This is something that we're expecting, okay, including us, the Hebrew Israelites. We anticipate them labeling us one of these organizations. You know what I'm saying? Because we know the persecution is coming. All right. It says here, President Donald Trump said he is designating the far left anti-fascism movement Antifa as a terrorist group organization, announcing the move on his Truth Social platform in the early hours of Thursday morning UK time. It wasn't immediately clear what mechanism Trump would use to make the designation, and Antifa lacks centralized structure or defined leadership, making it unclear who would what precisely will be targeted. All right. I'll read this last paragraph. It says, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. Now, I mentioned the Hebrew Israelites because at some point, look, there's nobody really prophesying against Babylon like the Israelites. There's nobody screaming louder than we are. So at some point, this is going to be something that we can see happening to us. Okay? But we welcome it, because the more this devil comes down, and the closer we get to that persecution, the closer to Yahawashi is going to come back and deliver his elect. So that's just a part of it. All right? We know, and I always say this, we know it got to get worse before it get better. So, hey, we expect it. All right? It says, again, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization, Trump wrote. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for the attention to this matter. So, again, this is the type of the steps that the measures that this man is going to take. All right. As he continues to collapse the society. All right, because this is what we can expect. All right. I have another. Check this out. Right, this is September 15th. This is a few days ago, because I believe it's the 19th right now. Yeah, this was a few days ago, from the SacramentoB.com. It says, man threatened mass murder of minorities after Charlie Kirk killing. Feds say. Okay, so you see the narrative. You see how they're trying to spin things. You see the energy and and what they're reporting. They want people scared. They want people to have something to speak up against, speak up for, speak up. You know what I mean? Like, they want the conversation to be geared around violence and safety and who's this and who's that. It's all a labeling that they're trying to do. Okay? You gotta ask yourself, if people are threatening to do shit all the time, right? Why are they reporting on this type of stuff the way they are? Especially after this CK so-called assassination. Right? It says the 19-year-old was tracked down by the FBI and arrested after federal prosecutors said he threatened mass murder against Jays and minorities following the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Jace Allen of Jamestown, New Mexico, promised to shoot up unspecified locations in the series of public threats to be posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, while using the alias Jabron Lames. That's fucking hilarious. On September 11th, according to prosecutors, the FBI's eGuardian counterterrorism system, which tracks threats, noticed Allen's post and alerted an agency. An FBI agent wrote an affidavit. And even if this is like straight up truth or whatever the case, you see the energy and the spirit of America, man. Look at the spirit. Look how people are thinking. Look how people are fed up. Okay, the people are watching this place die in front of them, and people are willing to die. People are willing to put their life on the line and take other people's lives for the sake of this country looking a certain way, sounding a certain way, feeling a certain way, getting back to a so-called glory days, right? But the scriptures say Babylon shall not be healed. Let me get that real quick since I thought of it. This is Jeremiah 51. All right, the spirit of Babylon is already broken. All right, Babylon 51. It's like in Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, right? And that golden cup, this has always been, the land of, milk and honey, where everybody wanted to be. This is the place where your wildest dreams can be fulfilled. The place of prosperity, the place of abundance, the place of freedom, liberty, justice, all of these great things, I mentioned in my last lesson about the American dream and how people bought into that, right? So this is why America, Babylon the Great has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand. that made all the earth drunken. Everybody's taking on his philosophy, the so-called democracy, the ways of this place. Everybody has, as people, there's all these different nations that are going into business and have trade deals with this nation, right? It says the nation have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? Because you're coming to realize that these Edomites are full of shit, right? And they're evil and they're wicked. And doing business and trade and having relations with them is not of their best interest. That's what they're coming to find out. Babylon is subtly, verse 8, Babylon is subtly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky. So Babylon shall not be healed. This place is dying in front of your eyes, and people are willing to kill to not see that happen. You got people who really feel a way about this man getting killed the way he got killed, because they feel like he represented, what America should be and what it should look like, and guys like this are gods to some of these people, man. So this is the reaction you're gonna get. People feeling like they'll kill for a stranger, somebody don't even know. They don't know this dude, right? But it's that spirit that's in them, especially these Edomites. It's that spirit that's in them. They've got a murderous, bloodthirsty spirit, and it's nothing to kill for them. For them, it's nothing. What else I got here? Some other stuff I saw this too. See the spirit that's out here in America again, man. All right. The black student down in Mississippi hung from a tree. Now they're saying it was a self-inflicted, that he did it himself. That's how they ruled it. The medical examiner ruled it as that he did it to himself. But hey, man, this is what's going on. Who knows if this is true or not? But something else just to take heed to. A family of a 21-year-old black student who was found hanging from a tree on a university campus in Mississippi is demanding answers after his death was ruled a suicide by the state examiner. The body of DeMar Travion Trey Reed was found on Delta State University's campus in Cleveland by police on Monday. His death sparked outrage, and allegations about the manner of his death circulated online, despite officials saying there was no evidence of foul play. And that's what they always say when it comes to Jake, being taken out. Ain't no foul play. It was justified. It was self-inflicted. Blah blah blah, right? But again, this is the energy. This is the vibration. This is the spirit that we see here in America, Babylon the Great. You know what I mean? These people are losing it. What did Gerald Slente say? And when people don't got nothing to lose, they lose it, right? And people are losing it, right? This is why this man is doing stuff like this, because they ready to come down, man. They ready to come down. How they coming down? Let me give Revelation 12:12 since I quoted it earlier. Revelation, this is the book of Revelation. We should all know this scripture by now because we bring this out all the time. You know what I mean? Because this is the times that we're in. All right, Esau, Edom, he's losing his grip on the society, on his rulership. So now he has to come, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. It says, Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he's coming down with great wrath. This is just a part of it. We was the last couple of weeks we was going into how he militarized, these police departments, and the National Guard, and He mobilized them and sent them into these inner cities so they can, so they can do work, and put some sort of watch and order, bring some order to you Jakes, you niggas, you 2/3. This is what we're seeing. All right, Slocky, I had to pause the video and jump back on. I had to take care of something real quick. Don't really know where I left off, but I did have this still pulled up. Yeah, so I know I was speaking on persecution and what we'll have to deal with, in these upcoming weeks, months, days, going into 2026. But this is just what it is. Let me see. That's the spirit of Esau, because he knew that he had but a short time. I got some precepts lined up. Let me jump into a couple. This is Psalms. Because we can't trust anything that Esau says. You can't trust his narrative. You can't trust his propaganda. You can't trust the things that are in the news. So we got to measure things through the spirit, man. Psalm 7:13, it says, He hath also prepared for him the instrument of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. So when you read these articles and you see what this man is spewing out in the news, on social media, it's a bunch of lies, deception, and falsehood, because that's the spirit that this man has always been in. Okay. He's the mass deceiver. Okay. Nothing, you can't believe nothing that this man says. Okay. It says, Behold, he travaileth with iniquity and hath conceived mischief. And that's what this man knows how to do. He goes from country to country with his mischief, with his foul play. Okay. He puts people under his spells when it comes to his, just everything. Esau has the power. He has the rulership. He has the control of all these different devices in the society, and he uses them to deceive. He uses them to poison. All right, poison the minds of the people. Physically, mentally, spiritually. All right. So this is what we are dealing with, okay? And those of us who are in this faith who know the deal, we the Lord has shown us, right? Because again, and I always mention, this man has a pattern and a history of works that follow him. So, that's just what it is with this man. Let me see what else I got. Psalms 37. Stay in the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 14. It reads, The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow, and cast down the poor and needy, and slay such as be of upright conversation. Okay, so and again, him, designating and labeling, people terrorist organizations, threats to society, enemies of the state. That's going to allow for people to, because again, what Esau has done is he has convinced the world that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the problem in the earth, And as he's done that, people have bought into it. When the truth of the matter is, there's no one more bloodthirsty, more evil, more wicked than the so-called white man, and that's just the fact. All right. So the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow and cast down the poor and the needy. He's cast down you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, through slavery and such, Jim Crow, freaking civil rights movements, all types of stuff that have happened. With you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. This is what he does. He oppresses, man. All right, verse 15 says, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little
that a righteous man have is better than the riches of the wicked. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, this is what we're dealing with. Esau, Edom, the wicked, man. I got one more, and I'll close it out. Proverbs 12 and verse 19. And it reads, actually, let me see if I had anything else, any other articles. I don't think I did. Nope. Oh, this is also in the news right now. Trump predicts government shutdown. Trump predicts government could shut down for a period of time. This is the latest thing in the news, right? Yep. I'm not gonna read it, but just the headline, to keep your eye on. Okay. Yeah, man. This America is cooked, man. This place is finished. Ain't no recovering. I just read in Jeremiah 51 that Babylon shall not be healed. So there's no healing. There's no healing for this. This ball. There's no ointment for this place. All right. It's all downhill from here. All right. Proverbs 12 and 19 says the lip of truth shall. It's like it. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment, right? Because that's all Esau Edom knows how to do is lie, cheat, and steal, right? But that's only for a moment, because the Lord is going to usher in a righteous kingdom where that's not going to be something that's going to be in the earth. And if it is, it's not going to be tolerated. It's going to be dealt with justly and righteously. Okay? This whole society, this whole world ruled and controlled by Esau Edom is one big ass lie. Right? You see what it reads in the NLT. It says, truthful words stand the test of time, but lies are soon exposed. Right? So Esau is going to be exposed. His lies, his hypocrisy, okay, his unjust dealings, it's all going to be exposed very soon. All right? Verse 20 says, deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. Right? And that's why, it says deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil. Right? That's all this man thinks upon is evil. Okay? Scripture says he practiceth upon his bed. Because he was created to be the wicked. All right? So, just wanted to bring that out. I hope it was edifying. I'm going to leave it there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.